inspiring. It's the flow that make you niggas think about retirement. The chicken just wet with my rap. That make a lot of sense. I'm trying to take a lot of trips. Nigga with somebody chick. Breaking down budgets, I don't spend it like I own it. Nigga, do your research. Kick it like it's feet first. Been feeling like a Kuma. I've been blacking that on each verse. Most of y'all need.
Peace, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody had a fruitful, lovely moon day. All right. Sun in Scorpio, moon in Aries. Told y'all yesterday a whole bunch of passion, aggression being thrown all over the place. Mars is a very introverted energy. It's all about its intentions and what it intends to do, its goals, its deep passions. So, with the sun and the moon being under these influences today may have been a real introverted, being in your own personal space, doing a whole bunch of calculating, right? Trying to feel some emotions out. When we look at planets in the solar system, when we look at that Mars energy correlates to picking up feelings, all right? More so what we don't like, what frustrates us, things that block passions, things that block things that you're real determined to do, okay? So by default, because it's also a full moon week, we already know the vibes. Celebrities, everybody that got some form of stardom or highlight on them, you're going to be able to see energies play out through celebrities. You can see this all the time during full and new moon times. So yesterday on live, I said, guys, I said this on live yesterday for everybody that was on the live yesterday. I said, guys, watch out for celebrity couples this week. It never fails. There's the full moon and there's a lot of Mars energy in the air. You feel me? And on top of that, it's Scorpio season. So it's just so much energies that have the potential to make something that was behind the scenes come into the light. So that's the thing with Scorpio season. Not only does it put the sun into the dark, aka it shines awareness in a place that was dark. A lot of things that deal with when we look at celebrities or things going on in the external realm, the sun is in Scorpio. So a lot of occult things, conspiracy like related things, these things come to the light in some type of shape or form. So circumstances with celebrities, it could be some shit that been pent up for a while, some shit that been in the dark for a while. One wrong argument, one wrong circumstance or whatever. Now a lot of shit is just leaked out in the open. So yesterday, as soon as we got off the live, all this Dababy shit, I think that shit started happening last night. I started seeing some of this shit all over the place last night. So I just want to dive into that real quick. I just want to break down some synastry things, some synastry alignments that I seen with them. And as soon as I pulled up their chart, it's so obvious. I ain't gonna say so obvious, but when you see couples go through extreme clashes, a lot of the time when you see their energies, it ain't hard to tell what makes them gravitate towards each other so hard. When you gravitate towards somebody so hard, there's potential to have a hard clash. You have to understand that. So, we all think about love and relationships being all, when we think about what a healthy love looks like in our life, we think about great communication, a lot of trust, a lot of understanding and whatnot. But when you got all of that potential for something so great, sometimes you never really realize the small things that could create big clashes at times. That's just how it is. It's just like even in your personal life, whenever you're on a high horse in some type of shape or form, you're popular for something, you're accomplishing something, you're gaining a status for something, sooner or later, you got to be able to be humble enough to experience what it feels like to not be on that high horse. So it's the same thing when we look at relationships. So let me just get into some of the alignments real quick now. As y'all can see, Dababy's chart is in the outside. Dani Leigh's chart is in the middle. So if y'all unaware, they have a kid with each other. I believe they had a child earlier this year. And I guess there was a lot of the status of the relationship was kind of unknown. I don't really know much. I wasn't really keeping tabs on this couple or whatnot, but I know that they went public for a minute at one time. As you can see, they have pictures with each other. That's why I wanted to pick this that. because he did go public with her. So that's gonna be something important to keep in mind. But yeah. So a bunch of shit just came out last night with them arguing with each other. Like they're going on live, calling the cops on each other. I believe the baby called the cops on her. This is his baby mom. It's like, you feel me? And yeah, this is basically like the big news as far as what's going on, all up in the tabs this morning. So, the funny thing about it, when you look at the live, the baby man nonchalant about the whole situation. Like, he's just, cool, calm, and collective, talking to the live or whatnot, trying to explain what's going on. Trying to say he want Shorty up out his house. He ain't really giving that much explanation. She's just in the background looking crazy, talking about this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third. How you gonna do me like this, that, and the third? I'm not going, I am going, I'm not going. Like, so she was just going back and forth. So, when we look at their energies off rip, they're both on the sat. Their sons. Like, if you guys see, I don't have their birth times, so we can't see the houses. But if you guys just look at the chart, you guys see how Danny's chart is in the middle, the baby's chart on the outside. Do you guys see how their planets are right on top of each other? Look at Venus right on top of Venus. Look at Pluto right on top of Pluto. Look at Mercury right on top of that Jupiter. Look at their suns right on top of each other. So what does that show us? Mega compatibility. Too much compatibility. And that can be a problem at times. Because you're going to click and understand this person so quick, very fast. Is a potential to understand each other very fast. But then at the same time, because y'all have so much of the same energy, it's going to manifest situations where it's like, okay, whose plan is better this time? Whose direction is better this time? Or my way of doing it should be better this time. So a lot of the times when it comes down to making certain decisions, one person could strongly feel like, you should understand why we should do it my way. Oh no, you should understand why you should do it my way. So with that sun and then on top of that, the cusp that their sun is in is the Sagittarius Capricorn cusp. That's one of the most goddamn stubborn cusp in the world. All right. Sagittarius is very wise, but a lot of the times, they can have very high ideals and feel like their belief system is the belief system everybody should kind of be getting a piece of and being enlightened about. That's why they love to teach. That's why they love to preach. So Danny's sun is in the Sagittarius side of it. Her sun is what? 28 degrees. So her sun is in Sagittarius touching Capricorn. You feel me? And another thing about that cusp is like you have the wisdom of Sagittarius, the inspiration to teach others, spread their belief system, spread their awareness and their wisdom. But then that Capricorn side, y'all know Capricorns, they deal with practicality. They deal with what makes sense, and they could be real stern about it. They could be real, they not trying to change their thoughts when they see something works this way. All right. And they're cardinals. So if anything, a lot of times Capricorns want to come and initiate a new way for you to see something in your life on how to do something practical. So when you got that cusp, when you got the sun on that cusp, you're going to be somebody a lot of the time that you're going to have the ability to inspire people on how to deal with reality, inspire people on how to deal with building certain things, help people to believe you can inspire people to believe that they have the ability to create, to stabilize, to gain a foundation in their life or deal with issues in reality a lot of the times, because these individuals are going to they're going to be very open-minded. Sagittarius, also Jupiter energy, so it's real optimistic, right? So they're going to be real optimistic individuals when it comes to dealing with reality. Saturn, Capricorn, building, time. They may be the individuals to enlighten others or try to uplift others' vibes by telling them things take time. So you even listen to Dababy's music. I don't listen to a whole bunch of his music, but I was listening to him a lot when he first came out. He speaks a whole lot about how much time he's put into get to where he's at. He was grinding for a minute, even changing his rap names and all that. I believe his rap name used to be Big Baby or something. So like, he talks about that in his music. So the funny thing to me is the fact that they was on live. So people look at that and be like, yo, y'all two grown adults, celebrities, whatever, y'all got bread and all that. Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all can't why does this need to be on live or whatnot? Y'all got to understand, that's where some of that Capricorn energy comes out. a dude like Dababy, he's calling the cops on his baby moms, especially after, the light he's been put in earlier this year because of some things he said. That Capricorn energy is trying to do things by the book to make sure everything, like Earth energy is strategical. They don't want to leave no evidence, or they don't want to leave no loopholes for them to look a certain way. So that Capricorn energy, I'm laughing at this shit because to me, I'm like, that's their Cap energy right now. They making sure they on live. Dababy making sure he on live because he don't want no extra shit coming out in the media. He's like, look, I'm calling the cops. He even called the cops. He called the cops first. And the crazy thing is she didn't even get arrested. Like, they just in the house or whatnot. Like, she just chilling in there or whatnot. So, but that's a whole whatever. That's a whole nother whatever. But that's how I look at it. That Cap energy, he was like, now we gonna do this the right way. I'm calling the cops. And I'm gonna make sure I'm on live. So ain't no crazy stories coming out, nothing. You could replay this. You could look crazy, talking about whatever you talking about. I'm looking dead at my fans and telling them what's going on. You feel me? And that's one thing that can tick people off when they date Capricorns. When they jump into a real nonchalant energy behind a real practical idea strategy. So like you'll have a Capricorn lock you outside the house and be lock you outside the house and you outside the house banging on the door crying and whatnot. And they just listening to you. But in their head, their plan is like, all right, I'm good. I'm secure. This is the most practical structured thing to do. Make sure they can't get in the crib. I'm staying inside the crib. I'm not allowing this to get, and this is the most common sense thing to do to me. Another sign might feel a little bit more or want to communicate in some type of shape or form, which I got to understand Saturn energy deal with cutting off, restrictions, all right, limitations, detachment. It's cold. It don't deal with emotions. So then that's another thing that I point out there because it's like you could see people on the live talking about like, or just some comments on some of these, on the situation, talking about like, damn, he's so cold. He mad nonchalant with it. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, he a cap Sag. Like, that's how cold they can get. That's how cold they can get. Now, this is the thing, though. This is the thing. So they both on the cusp. She's more so leaning on the Sagittarius side because she's a 28-degree Sagittarius. He's leaning more on the Cap. Well, he's really in the middle. He a 0 degree Cap. So he's 50% Sagittarius and Capricorn. That's why if you look at Dababy, his demeanor is either bugging out or mad chill. Either way. Either bugging out or he mad chill. So Dababy's a Capricorn sun on that cusp, but he's a Cancer moon. So when a Cancer moon, regardless of the sun, when a Cancer moon has a strong set emotional decision on something, they'll die behind it. Like they'll die behind that. So what you have in that cold, sturdy, exactly the opposite energy as the sun, Capricorn, you're gonna have strong emotions to be cutthroat at times, to be dry, to be detached, and you'll support that type of action or expression with a strong emotional conviction, you know? So that's why it's so easy to see him be like, damn, that's your baby moms. You don't care about being on live, with your baby moms looking crazy and just kicking her out the house, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's what he care about. He care about not caring about what y'all think he should be caring about. So that's why I'm just like, all right, they really wilding. They really wilding. Now, the thing is, he a Cancer moon. We don't have her birth time, but she's either a Leo or Cancer moon. All right, she's either a Leo or Cancer moon. I'm going to lean more on Cancer. All right. Now, she could be a Leo moon, and that could show like a fatal attraction type of energy. You got Cancer on the moon, the ultimate ruler of the moon. Then you got Leo on the other side. That's the sun ruler. So when you have two people connect with each other, and there's Cancer and Leo in the sun and moon, so you're a Cancer and you date somebody and their sun or moon is Leo, or you a Leo and you date somebody and their sun or moon is Cancer, off rip, y'all dealing with planetary rulers are have a divine connection by default is the sun and the moon. All right. So in many circumstances, we can say Cancers and Leos are supposed to be together to be direct with it. You know, it don't always play out like that, but Cancers and Leos can attract each other very hard, you know, and it could be very harmonious pairings, especially when it's like the sun moon combination. So you're a sun and Leo and you're dealing with somebody that's a Cancer moon. or you're a Cancer sun and you're dealing with somebody that's a Leo moon, all right? The Leo person is always going to be able to make the moon person in some type of shape or form feel like that they have a type of awareness, guidance, or direction, or they're only going to be able to inspire the Cancer. The Cancer energy is going to be the one to be real understanding and nurturing of the vision, of the expression, you know. And these two be having a real humorous relationship with each other. So they could be like little kids, have a little kid playful relationship with each other, you know. So that's very important there. But if they are both Cancer moons, that's showing you a whole bunch of compatibility there, a whole bunch of natural compatibility there. OD understand each other. And this is probably why they may be playing out in some type of shape or form at this point, a soulmate turning into a soul tie situation. And I say that because, first of all, he was claiming her. They was public and everything. And like, to be a celebrity and be, a lot of times celebrities be way more public about their relationships. So when they go public, like celebrities celebrities all fuck with each other. Like, it's a small world. It's a small world. A lot of them, you feel me, from NBA players messing with this female rapper and this singer messing with, like, they all fuck with each other. So when a dude when a celebrity couple goes public, like that was probably something that was some discussion behind that. Probably some labels had to know about that. You know, some business people that was involved had to know about it or whatnot, because now it's affecting brand imagery and everything. Some people believe there's some couples that get together because they understand how it'll make their brand look or whatnot. So he's went public with her or whatever. So I just find it funny how, you know, you went public with her, you had a kid, you had a baby, and now you on live. Just now that Cap energy is just on live acting mad nonchalant, call the cops, and you acting like you don't care. Stop it, baby. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Now I know how cold a turned off Cancer can get, especially having that Cap sun. The Cap sun gonna show that it don't care. You feel me? When you dealing with Cap energy, when they naturally don't be caring about shit. Like they naturally need to learn how to feel and be a little bit more understanding about things at times, be more responsive to the emotions of others at times. So by default, that's their natural energy. So when they really trying to express how much they don't care or they don't want something in their space, he called her a side hoe. Like, see, that's OD. See, that's OD. Like, that's, regardless, once it gets, I don't care how, and every guy is different, you feel me? But like, I just feel like, and I don't have no kids, but I just feel like once you have a child with somebody, regardless of what goes on between us, one day my child could grow up and look at this. So I just can't come out, you know, my mouth and say something crazy about my baby moms like that in front of mad people. But then again, hey man, people are different. Some people don't be caring. So, you know, that's what that is. So that's another thing. The fact that they might both be Cancer moons, that shows you right there. When it's one thing when you're dealing with somebody that got the opposite energy of your moon or whatnot, it could be extreme. It could be extreme attraction. It could be extreme attraction, but you know, the compatibility, hopefully there's other planets alignments to work out compatibility. Now, the fact that they might be both Cancer moons shows you that they OD understand each other. When you're dealing with somebody and y'all both got the same moon sign, there's certain things that make you comfortable, or there's certain things that you always want to have in your space, or ways that you deal with communication that you don't have to go out your way for this person to understand. You feel me? Now, y'all it might be some alignments clashing with y'all suns or whatnot, with y'all risings or whatnot. But for the most part, if the moons is together, you know, the moon is the most important thing. So if the moons is in the same space, it's like when you down, I know what picks you up because I know what picks me up when I'm down. And then, or when you down, I know exactly how to, you know, I know how to be there because I kind of already feel like I understand. I know what type of support I'd want if I'm down. I know how to lift your vibe up. I know what makes you comfortable, because it ain't that different from what makes me comfortable. Like, so it could be a very harmonious pair, but then it's like it could turn into trauma bonding. It could easily turn into trauma bonding because the moon deals with your emotions. The moon deals with your emotional history. All right. So if you got two people with the same moon sign, there's a 8.5 out of 10 times, they might have experienced the same things that impact the emotions. They may have felt some of the same frustrations about certain things. So I'm a Capricorn moon. If I'm dealing with another Capricorn moon person, it don't even have to be in an intimate level. This could be the homie that's a Capricorn moon, a sibling that's a Capricorn moon, or a chick that I'm dating that's a Capricorn moon. If we both Capricorn moons, we may have both been heavily frustrated about things dealing with money, stability in life, our responsibilities, what we got to work on by default. So if I'm dating somebody and they got a Capricorn moon, once I start, let's say I start venting or stressing about some shit that deals with Capricorn like related things, my bills or something, or, you know, something I'm working on or putting time into, they naturally understand that. Like, boom, how about you just restructure things this way? Because there is their natural response, the moon responding to respond in a more organized, structured way. So if somebody else is giving off some energy dealing with responsibilities or how they're trying to build something, it's natural for them to respond with different outlooks, or, you know, help them see different possibilities on how they could do things in a Capricorn moonish way. So, but that's back to what I was saying about both of their suns being in the same cusp. That could create ego wars, because now it's like we're both Cancer moons. We both got our suns in the same place, you know. So now it's like, whose idea is better? Yeah, I understand what you see, but I think you should understand what I see. All right, so sometimes it get a little crazy, but with the moon dating your same moon sign, it could turn into trauma bonding, because y'all may have dealt with some of the same traumas. The moon deals with receiving and attracting, so whatever house you have the moon in, you're going to be attracting a lot of experiences in that area this lifetime. The sign that you have the moon in, you're going to be attracting a lot of scenarios in your life that deal with that type of energy. All right, so with them both having the same scenarios and circumstances in their life that make them comfortable as Cancer moons, I feel like it's so easy to start trauma bonding, because it's like they could get into a real serious argument, not be fucking with each other, not be talking or something, and then as soon as one of them call the other one, like, yo, boom, 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 like, let's cut it out, boom. It's so easy to just put all that shit in the past that might have been something that needs to be communicated about just to feel comfortable with each other. So that's basically trauma bonding, you know. Y'all taking all the things that y'all done developed in previous relationships in your childhood, y'all playing it out in the relationship, but at the same time, y'all trying to be each other remedy through the process. But y'all just getting more toxic at the same time, you know, because y'all burying a lot of these things. So, and, you know, it could be a tough thing to do even when both parties are putting effort into trying to, you know, understand each other or whatnot. But that's the thing when we look at synastry. When you got too much energy with somebody, it's going to be a lot of compatibility, but it could be some tough clashes here from time to time, especially if it's the sun. So they got that alignment. They both have Venus and Scorpio. They both have Venus and Scorpio. So if you see their Venuses over there, they're in the same space. So Venus and Scorpio individuals, passionate ass lovers. They love deep. Once they love somebody, they front a lot of the times. Venus and Scorpios, they be fronting like they don't love the person at times. And that could be a defense mechanism to feel like they not putting themselves out in the open or feeling vulnerable. And then they could start just closing a person out, not knowing they doing that though. You know, so that could add more to the nonchalant energy that he had, you know, on the live, because it's like a lot of times Scorpios, Venus and Scorpio people, when it comes to love or whatnot, they could hold heavy, deep grudges with things dealing with relationships at times. You know, it could be hard for them to get over certain things at times. When you cheat on a Scorpio, you really do something for a Scorpio, Venus and Scorpio person, like as far as lying or something like that shit, like another sign, whether the Scorpio forgive you or not, another sign will forgive you and keep working on that. Scorpio ain't never gonna forget that shit. Venus and Scorpios ain't never, like, it could be something that you literally ain't never gonna do again. That's not the sign that you really want to, of the placements or sign that you really want to deal with when it comes to them situations. So I do think they may have, you asked, are they twin flames? I do think that they have a soulmate, soul tie situation. I think the soul tie situation is starting right now. But I would say soulmate because the baby is a Capricorn North Node. So that means his South Node is in Cancer, right? We just said Dani might be a Cancer moon. She's either a Leo moon or a Cancer moon. All right. And if her moon is in Cancer, that means her moon might be touching his South Node. If her moon touching his South Node, then that indicates a whole bunch of past life experiences. And the fact that they just had a child, a lot of the times, karmic relationships, soul tie relationships, they do things in order to stay connected because that's something they're used to doing for so many lifetimes. And a child is one way that could happen a lot of the times. So yeah, I could say they definitely might be playing out a soul tie situation. But I definitely feel like there's high emotion for each other. I feel like no matter how nonchalant the baby may have looked, that nigga don't like the fact that he got emotion for her. Let's put it like that. He don't like that. He probably in a state, and Capricorns getting energy where they just start feeling like things they did in the past is fucking up everything in their present. You feel me? So he probably thinking to himself like, damn, I really just had a child with her, this, that, and a third. Like, yo, I'm really tripping. Like, none of my other baby mamas be wilding like this, but like he probably yeah, Cancer moon too, so they just be caring too hard sometimes. So that's what's going on with that. You know, I think her moon might be making contact with his South Node. And then yeah, they both got Venus and Scorpio. So yeah, I know once again Scorpio ruled by Mars, but when you put Venus in there, that's some passionate love. That's real intense love. So if they both got that same type of love language, this goes back to more compatibility, but they so much alike. They so much. Look at the picture that I got of them in the background. Look at the picture. They damn near don't even look like a couple. Like they look like they best friends in this picture. Like they look like they look like they the homies right now in that picture. So I know how that Sag energy is. That Sag energy is real upbeat. It loves to experience. It loves to stay be around people, places, and things that makes them feel alive. You may have a Sagittarius or like a Sagittarius, a Leo, say some shit like that to you. Like, yo, like your energy be mad dead or whatnot. Like, look alive, motherfucker. Like that, they may like saying shit like that by default. So I know with them both having that Sag energy, they don't worry about putting each other's vibe down in any way. That's probably how they started to fall for each other. But that Venus and Scorpio individuals, they have like a magnetic aura. People are very attracted to them. They're usually real seductive individuals a lot of the time. Venus and Scorpio women. Venus and Scorpio women. Scorpio sun women. Scorpio rising women. Mars influenced signs. I speak about this all the time when we talk about Mars seduction and the aura. But, Venus and Scorpio individuals, they have real strong magnetic aura when it just comes to how they present themselves. Sometimes a lot of them present themselves in such a seductive, sexual manner, and it's subconscious to them. They don't start realizing that till they get older, and the people that hit on them, whatnot, is always saying something about their seductive look or whatnot. A lot of Venus and Scorpio rising type energies have that, like, quote unquote, resting bitch face, real reserved looking face, but look real sexy to others. I tweeted earlier today and posted, Scorpios are very attractive. And the thing is, like, it's physical traits and whatnot. And, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But at the same time, it's the energy. It's the aura. It's the energy. It's just really charged up. Scorpios are real charged up ass energy, So when you put Venus in there, their charm can be very strong, So, and when they love deep. They love passionately. They want to connect passionately when we're talking about sexually. A lot of the times, they could manipulate their partner. They could sexually have a whole bunch of control over their partner, through sex, through their aura, through how they just make individuals gravitate towards them, through the fact that they partner know that other people want them sexually a lot of the time. So they both have Venus and Scorpio. So the fact that they was together going public and all that created a baby. Yeah, that's why they got a baby. That's why they got a baby. All right. It's that much passion. It's that much the love making that good between them with all the compatibility. All right. So a lot of Venus and Scorpio individuals, you know, sometimes they be getting mad because it's like, damn, I really like this person, but it ain't as hot. It ain't as spicy. You feel me? It ain't as passionate. You know, Venus and Mars influence signs they seek that. They want that. You know, and we attract a lot where our Venus is at. So they could attract that a lot of the times, but it could start to turn out into them attracting the sexual partners, but not having the substance of their partner or the people that they attract, and not having the substance that they want, though. You know, so that Venus aspect, that's really important. Their love languages are the same. Their love languages are the same. They both may have had them possibly both being Cancer moons, sun on the same cusp. They may have had mad moments where it's like, you know, they just opened up to each other about things they never opened up to, because they felt like they could confide in that person, or that water, or that Venus making contact in that water. So then they water moons and all that, and water loves to connect. So once you start connecting different waves, and water deal with the past, you start connecting past mode. That's how you fall in. That's how you fall in love. We grow now. We should know the ingredients it takes to fall in love. You should know. It ain't even about the love making. It's a whole bunch of things before we get into physically connecting. It be them long talks. It be the time, the moments you get off the phone and you realize you just told this person something that you ain't never tell nobody. You like, damn. I don't know how they got me to get that one up out of me, but damn. So yeah, they both got that Venus and Scorpio energy. I don't know, man. That's gonna be real intense. But this another thing that happens when you dating somebody, y'all both got Venus and Scorpio. It's gonna be intense power and control issues here. All right. So that's something that they gonna have to work on. And when you got that much passion and intensity in the same space, sometimes that shit could get tough. All right. But yeah, that Venus and Scorpio, they match each other's passion. You feel me? Now Jupiter sextile Saturn. Her Jupiter in Sagittarius sextiles his Saturn in late degrees Capricorn. Let me make sure. Yeah, her Jupiter sextiles his Saturn. So what's Jupiter? Experiences, right? Wisdom developed through experiences, all right? Living new things, adventures, spiritually expanding, right? So if her Jupiter that deals with experiences is making contact with his Saturn adds longevity into things. It rules time. So in synastry, you could look at Jupiter and Saturn making contact opportunities to create longevity experiences, or experience in a long time frame with this individual. You know, they have a child. A lot of times in astrology, we look at Jupiter when it comes to children. You know, we look at Jupiter, that fifth house energy, Leo energies. All right. But with Jupiter dealing with creating new experiences, hitting that Saturn, it may be some responsibilities that's developed with each other as well. That's going to take some spiritual expansion. Okay. Now it's the sextile, so it's more of a positive alignment, but anything touching Saturn in synastry is going to show potential for that to be a long-term thing, for that to be something that's emphasized to put time into. So them just manifesting a kid, that shows a whole lot there. All right. So yeah, these are some important influences right here. And then to cap all of that off, it's a full moon week. All right. It's a full moon week. All this Mars energy is in the air, so things could just get blown up like that, blown out of proportion like that. Now, people is asking, is it a publicity stunt? He just dropped music or whatnot. You feel me? I don't know. Based off the energies, I don't think it's a publicity stunt. You know, I don't think a black man, and this is. I don't think a black man that has felonies is calling the police. for anything. For anything. All right, y'all? So, if you know, you know. I don't think it's no joke around type of situation. So, and then that's just that. And then there's Dababy. I don't think Dababy need to do no extra shit for no publicity. He's one of the hottest artists in the game. So, now the thing is, this is the thing. So Venus is in Capricorn right now, right? Venus is in Capricorn, so everybody is being influenced to be more realistic as to, is this a relationship I'm willing to put time into right now, my relationship, right? Everybody's in a state of being more direct with their partner, more serious about situations dealing with the home, family environment. You feel me? So Dababy's a Capricorn. His sun is in Capricorn, so with Venus is in there, his love language is being put in the light right now. You know, his actions dealing with love is being put in the light right now by default. His sun is in Capricorn, and you know, Venus is transiting there by default. So Venus is bringing him, you know, opportunities to how he should look in a positive light. Is there to make him look more positive in the public eye by default, how he's seen. So that's probably right now why it was smart for him to go on live, to be honest with you. Some people say that y'all putting y'all business out there, whatnot. That might have been a smart thing to do for his position, you know, especially under all the ridicule he was under earlier in the year. You feel me? And yeah, that's just that. But yeah, man. Yeah, I hope they straight. Y'all just hearing it from me now. If they asses get together in any type of scenario, we see them kissing, hugging on each other in any type of way. Yeah, just know that this is a whole soul tie situation. This is a whole soul tie situation. You feel me? So we got that going on. And real quick, I just want to go over the hidden energies in the chart. I posted earlier about hidden energies in the chart. Somebody asked me about that. So we want to look at Mars and Pluto placements. Off the rip. So I tweeted Venus. The house Venus is in is where you're going to manifest and attract a lot of love and support by default. So wherever Mars and Pluto at, it has, you know, these are malefics. So a lot of the time they could put us through turbulent experiences, you know, where Uranus is at, Saturn is at. Their ways of helping us accomplish or teach or learn and grow could be more, you know, harsh per se, you know, if we are not intuitive enough to do things the right way. So there's a lot. This is why there's really no such thing as fate. You know, you alter your timeline every day. So there's things that you are supposed to learn in this phase of life and then learn in this phase of life. And then you got your Saturn return, things you're supposed to learn when you're 30. Then you got your second Saturn return, things you're supposed to know by 60. So you already have projected phases to have a certain amount of wisdom through your transits. But if you have an individual that doesn't have the wisdom they should have at 20 years old, wisdom that they should have at 20 years old, they still don't have it at 25. They still don't have it at 27. Now you putting yourself in a circumstance where you experiencing a lot of repeat circumstances. You're manifesting a lot. You getting left back in school, in spiritual school, having to experience the same things over and over again. Whether it's certain things you do in relationships, certain things you do with your personal life, certain things within your career approach. So, when we looking at Mars and Pluto and those malefics, Mars, Pluto, Uranus, we go through a lot of transformation in them areas by default. Things change a lot in them areas, and we have to learn how to adapt. We have to learn how to take that experience and understand, we got to take this to develop our character some more instead of just sinking to the pain of it. Because motherfucking Mars and Pluto be painful sometimes, holler at your Scorpios. They could tell you, you feel me? But, so real quick, Mars in the first house. Mars or Pluto in the first house. Now, they slightly play out a little different. I just want to run through them real quick because I didn't really tweet about them through the houses. Mars and Pluto in the first house, you got to be careful of your personal circle. A lot of times. This also goes for Scorpio, Aries risings. This also goes for Scorpio, Aries risings. Y'all got to be careful of y'all personal circle. Yeah, I can't be quick to be just all personal, or having your personal information just be expressed amongst anybody when you first meet them. That's probably something I don't got to tell y'all because y'all already know that. You already probably manifested experiences being a Scorpio, Aries rising, realizing that, you know, motherfuckers, other people got to open up about their shit personally before I start opening up about anything. But a lot of times, you may deal with hidden agendas, hidden enemies within your personal life. It may be something connected to something you're personally connected to. So you have a friend that's one of your personal friends, you feel me? And they got a mutual friend, you feel me, that's really your hidden enemy. So it's shit like that. Or hidden enemies in your personal environment, in places that you're personally familiar with. All right? Things like that. Anything that you're personally invested in, things that people know about you personally, personal aspirations that you may have, things correlated to all of that. You feel me? You a Leo rising, and you deal with a bunch of creativity in your personal life. You into fashion and everything. Then be careful when you doing your thing that people personally know you for when it comes to your creative touch on fashion or whatnot. Because in that field, you may deal with some hidden enemies. You may deal with some competition. That's another thing I said, competition, wherever Mars and Pluto is at. A lot of times you have Mars and Pluto in the first house, you're going to be real introverted by default. You don't really, Mars in the first house people, they too dialed into how they want to personally live life. So they could be really stubborn at the same time. They could be really stubborn and not take the advice from a lot of people because they have their own ways of personally doing things. So that could be a positive and negative in mad different situations. But y'all gotta understand, Mars loves to be in the first house. Pluto loves to be in the first house because it's always going to influence this person to embrace personal transformation. It's always going to influence this person to, stay devoted towards the things that they personally passionate about, their personal goals or whatnot. And just seeing how they move personally motivates other individuals. Okay? So a lot of times you could attract the hidden enemies because of that right there. People envying you or being jealous of how much you can accomplish personally by blocking the rest of the world out, because that's what a lot of Mars and Pluto individuals can do. Aries and Scorpio risings can do. They could just do their whole individual thing, not have to brag to nobody, not have to show their accolades to anybody, get a lot of shit accomplished, and now they're just an example of somebody that get a lot of shit done on their own, So you got to be careful though in the personal life right there. Scorpio rising, Aries rising, Mars and Pluto in the first house. Second house, you have Mars and Pluto in the second house. When we start getting into the career influences, that's where you got to be careful. But not just the actual workplace or the career field, the thing that, whatever it is you're doing in career. So when we look at the second house deals with your value system, right? Your talents, things correlated to your self-esteem, right? All right? Things that you're good at, okay? Creative gifts when we're looking at the second house. All right, the things that you value. So this where hidden enemies and shit be around. You got something coming out your second house. You got a certain talent coming out the second house. Every time you deal with that talent, you got certain energies out your second house that make you a good dancer. You feel me? And that's something that you use to stabilize yourself. You feel me? Or start to open up opportunities for yourself to gain stability and deal with career and whatnot. You dance. Every time you go to a dancing event or you dealing with collabing with dancing with other people or you're doing things, anything correlating to your second house talent, your second house gift, what you value your ability to dance and utilize that in the physical realm to build something. That's where you got to be careful at. And also things dealing with career, things dealing with finances. You got to make sure whoever's paying you when you got Mars and Pluto in the second house, that they paying you every mother bleeping cent that they owe you. You need to be on top of that, because Mars and the Pluto and them Earth houses sometimes can manifest situations where they deal with turbulence, manipulation within the workplace, within career. They're going to be highly devoted and passionate for things dealing with career or building in the physical realm, getting to the bag, taking care of their bills and responsibilities by default. All right. But it's going to turn out to sometimes, other people seeing how much that they're devoted for something and try to wave things in front of their face because they feel like, they'll jump on that just to get stable or whatnot. So you got to be careful for people trying to manipulate you in that type of way. In the second house, you got Mars and Pluto in the second house. You may manifest a lot of situations, people trying to play on your self-esteem. So you gotta get them affirmations on deck. You got to do the things that help you deal with self-development. You got Mars and Pluto in the second house because it will attract some haters that, you be a talented ass singer, but you not really confident in yourself. But everybody and their mama confident in you. You may just have that one person that's always around you. You feel me? And they low-key be saying shit about your singing to add on to your low confidence about it. Like, yeah, you say some negative shit about your singing, and your friend is supposed to pick you up with some shit like, nah, girl, boom, boom. Remember that last time you sang that at the birthday party? Everybody's going crazy. They'll be the one to be. You got Mars and Pluto in the second house. When it comes to your talent, you say anything negative about your shit, or you dealing with any type of negative result with something that you talented at, you gonna have that friend or somebody around you to say some shit like, yeah, you might as well do some other shit, or boom, 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 and they'll know what they doing. That's if you got some real weak, low-ass spirits around you. But Mars and Pluto in the second house, y'all got to be careful of that shit. Y'all got to be careful of that. And another thing y'all got to be careful of is rushing when it comes to how you utilize your creative endeavors or how you do things in career. Y'all can't be rushing this lifetime. If you got Mars and Pluto in the second house, that's something you need to be careful of. You're going to be real passionate about making money, building stability or whatnot. But you may make a lot of mistakes by rushing things and fucking the foundation up, because Mars is always on goal and the second house need patience. So you got to be able to, remind yourself that you need to invest time into how you use your second house energies, what you value, your creative endeavors and all of that. Now, Mars and Pluto in the third house. Mars and Pluto in the third house, the third house be dealing with your siblings, dealing with the things that's close to you, your familiar environment, your neighborhood, man. You feel me? Familiar friends. Them friends that you grew up with, and you feel me? You could not see them in years, and then you strolling through your neighborhood like, yo, what's up, boo boo? Y'all went to middle school with each other, boo 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 boo. You feel me? Y'all just chop it up. That's like a third house friend. You feel me? Your neighbor or something, and you go visit your mom Duke's crib, your pops Duke's crib. You feel me? And then you saying what up to the you feel me? Your neighbors that been living next to your parents for however long. They seen you go to high school. That's like your third house peoples. You feel me? It's familiar environment, local neighborhood. All right, even in familiar environment that you're in right now. All right, so you may have moved from where you grew up in, but you moved somewhere, and now the environment you moved into became your familiar environment. So the people in your grocery store know you. The neighbors here now know. That's your third house now. All right, so, but it's an air house, so it's dealing with people, it's dealing with relationships. All right, so when you got Mars and Pluto in there, these people a lot of times can experience a lot of bullshit, hidden agendas, manipulation, secrets in their adolescent stages of life. This shit could take place in the home with siblings. This shit could take place with cousins, distant relatives, friends early in life. You got a crush on somebody, then your homie, you had a homie or whatnot. You be talking to your homie about the crush. This is Mars and Pluto like shit in the third house. You talking to your homie about the crush and shit. Yeah, you in like 6th grade. You feel me? And then your homie jump on the crush. You feel me? Ain't say nothing to you. Now they going to the motherfucking school dance with each other and shit. And you just feeling crazy. And then your homie acting like nothing wrong about it. Like Mars and Pluto be crazy in the third house. Mars and Pluto, I be feeling for people with Mars and Pluto in the third house sometimes, man. That's why they end up that's why the third house deal with how you communicate. Third house deal with how you, third house, it influences how you communicate based off of what you experienced with early friendships and your neighborhood. So when you got Mars and Pluto in there, you're going to have people that develop real direct, blunt, I don't play no games type of forms of communication here. That's what you're going to develop here by default. Because Mars and Pluto starts not to play any games in that house with anybody. Don't let this person already have some Mars influences. Don't let them be an Aries, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. Aries, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising. Don't let them be that already. Don't let them be like another sign that don't take shit, like a Capricorn, Aquarius. You feel me? A Gemini with some screws loose. Like, don't let them be one of them and have Mars and Pluto in the third house, because they gonna say what the fuck they mean and mean what the fuck they say with Pluto and Mars in the third house. And then when you start connecting to them, you're gonna start realizing that they may have experienced things early in their childhood with some form of deception, manipulation, secrets, lies with siblings, cousins, people that was close to them, things going on in their neighborhood, all type of funny shit. All type of funny shit. You feel me? It could be some forms of abuse in that with Pluto and Mars in that third house too. It could be some forms of abuse here too. So, that may be something that starts to affect the relationships this person is able to develop. You feel me? Because it starts to develop somewhat slight trust issues and shit with Mars and Pluto in that third house. Fourth house. But yeah, third house, the hidden enemies, that's where it be. It be things connected to what you're familiar with. All right, you got a familiar habit or a familiar environment you like to go out a lot, or people know that you're in a lot as far as something that's familiar to you. That's where you got to look out for hidden enemies or whatnot. People trying to play games with you, people trying to be competitive with you. You got Mars and Pluto in third house. You may have had some real competitive ass friends when you was young. Competitive ass friends. You feel me? Fourth house. Mars and Pluto transit in the fourth house. Hidden enemies be in the home. Hidden enemies be your relatives. You might have a lot of competition with one of your parents, with one of your siblings. You feel me? You might have a child that you're real competitive with. Mars and Pluto in the fourth house. All right? Fourth house is connected to anything dealing with the home. So, the fourth house does deal with the home family environment, has a strong emphasis on the motherly influence in your life. So, Chrissy B, see ya. I know you're not playing. I can feel your Mars influence when you communicate. So Mars and Pluto in that fourth house. Mars don't like to be in this house. This house is about emotionally connecting and emotionally understanding. Mars ain't got time for all of that. Mars got its own personal individuals, goals. Wherever Mars is at brings a whole bunch of passion, could bring some, bring confrontation. So there may be some fights and confrontation in the home. The relationship with your mom may be very extreme. It might not even be no compatibility there. It might just be clashing 75% of the time instead of 50-50 a lot of the times. But if you is cool with your mom, dukes or whatnot, or your parents, you still may have that extreme, and it may really be power and control issues, or them just being. You got Mars and Pluto in the fourth house. A lot of times you got parents or a mom that is highly programmed into the way she grew up. Like it's hard for them to adapt to a different way of seeing. Like you could have parents that grew up elsewhere. You feel me? They grew up in Jamaica or whatnot, and you the first generation in America. They may not realize that they're not raising you in Jamaica. Like they may be stuck in the way that they grew up. You feel me? Mars and Pluto in the fourth house, and now you have to deal with that strong sense of individuality in the home. Now this starts to affect how you deal with your emotional well-being. Now, when you get into relationships, Mars and Pluto in the fourth house, anytime there's a slight issue of somebody being selfish, somebody not compromising, somebody being a real individual, it snaps you back to situations in the home. And it could be uncomfortable and disturbing a lot of the times. All right? So that's why y'all end up being real nurturing, though. This is why y'all end up being, individuals that become emotional dependents for other individuals that's dealing with shit in the home family environment. That's why y'all be mad compassionate for people that's going through emotional turmoil or whatnot, Sometimes it's the people that have went through a lot of shit that are able to fucking feel more than people that just be floating, or people that be extra privileged, or people that ain't really had to work for shit in their life or whatnot. People that go through shit. when you really going through life, you going through all type of ups and downs of emotions. You see somebody else going through it. You brought down the reality. You gonna feel for them. You feel me? If you have any sense of a heart. So it may be hard for somebody that's spoiled or some shit that has shit handed to them or whatnot, be able not to feel certain situations or deal with a sense of compassion. Mars and Pluto in the fourth house sometimes go out their way. So this might be somebody you're dating and you're realizing like, yo, why this person always going out of their way to make me feel comfortable? Sometimes that's a defense mechanism. Mars goes dumb hard wherever it's at. So you got Mars and Pluto in the fourth house. They start to go super hard sometimes in relationships, or they go super hard for their siblings. Mars and Cancer, this plays out with Mars and Cancer individuals a lot of time. They can have a sibling or close friend that is real talented at something or whatnot, or has the inspiration to do something, and then they kind of be more motivated and inspired for their friend's success more than them. So Mars and Pluto in fourth house go deep, but a lot of these circumstances can manifest within the home environment, all right? Or things that you're really emotionally connected to, or something that's connected to some of your pastimes, All right. Now the fifth house, when you got Mars and Pluto in the fifth house, people gonna hate on your creative expression. People gonna hate on the way you express yourself, on the way you dress, on the way you sing, the way you rap. You know, the things that you creatively invested in, the things you got popularity for, the things that you got some type of light for. You gonna attract some enemies, or you gonna attract some haters around that energy. You feel me? So you gotta be confident in your shit. When you got Mars and Pluto, now that's the thing. When you got Mars in the fifth house, when you got Mars and Pluto in the fifth house, you low key already gonna be somebody that has a real I don't care how y'all feel form of expression. That be part of the reason why you get the haters there. So it's not just you just get hidden enemies and haters in these houses just because Mars and Pluto there. It's what Mars and Pluto is doing to get hated on. Mars attract hate. Scorpios, Aries, a lot of them have haters because they real individual, you know. And sometimes people be like, who the fuck is you? Why you can't do things the way other people doing it? Or why you so non-considerate of what everybody else is? And then people start hating on that energy, you feel me? So when you got Mars and Pluto in that fifth house, these are people that express themselves sometimes with no filter. Impulsive expression. They hella competitive. They in the talent show, they want to fight if they don't win the talent show. They want to fight if they came in second place. With Mars and Pluto in the fifth house. So people going to start to hate on the way you project yourself. People might tell you to simmer down a little bit at times. Mars and Pluto in that fifth house. You feel me? People may have, you know, try to play you when it comes to critiquing or giving their opinions on how you express yourself or your creative artistic endeavors. You feel me? So, but you a real competitive ass spirit. You got to be careful you not clinging on to any extreme sore loser energies with Mars and Pluto in that house. You feel me? You got to be careful of that, especially Mars and Leo individuals. Mars and Leo individuals put a hit on you if you beat them in a game of Scrabble. You got to lose to them. You got to let them win. Once you hit them with checkmate in chess, just hit them with one checkmate and lose. That's it. Don't do them crazy because they put a hit on you, Mars and Leo. They that competitive. The Leo energy is competitive by default. So once you start throwing Mars in there, you start throwing more passion. You start throwing the motherfucking God of War into an energy that's that prideful. They not taking no L's. Just put it like that. They not taking no L's. You feel me? So, you know, that's what we got there. Mars and Pluto in the fifth house. Y'all gonna attract the hidden enemies and whatnot, dealing with shit with creative expression, how you express yourself, or how you sing. Mars and Pluto in the sixth house. Y'all got to be careful when y'all in the workplace where y'all work at. Y'all be having hidden enemies. Y'all co-workers. Co-workers be the hidden enemies. You feel me? People that you have to work with in certain situations in your life be the hidden enemies. You got Mars and Pluto in the sixth house. At your job, in college, in high school, whenever y'all had to do group projects, you was always the one in funny situations with certain individuals. Mars and Pluto in the sixth house. You feel me? They getting shit together and they making group chats on the side, not including you, forgetting to tell you when we meeting up for shit. Anything that you have to work on something, you know, whether it's actual a career workplace or something that you personally working on, a personal project, you giving your blood, sweat, and tears for in life, because the sixth house deal with schedule, regiment, doing things in a consistent manner, right? Building, you know, organization. So anything that you're putting into a routine, trying to work on, you're going to have haters. You may have your siblings, your cousins, your parents hate on the fact that you're working on your raps every day. Go get a job. You feel me? Go back to school. That thing that you have in your sixth house in a routine, or, you know, that thing that you're so passionate about, Mars and Pluto in sixth house, that thing that you're so passionate about working on consistently, building in your schedule regimen, it won't work. You feel me? Do something else that's more secure. So you got to be careful of that Mars and Pluto in sixth house, but your coworkers, the workplace, don't be having your boss play with you. Don't be having your managers play with you and whatnot. You feel me? Because they'll play with you. They'll play with you and act like they not you. This not how much money you're supposed to get paid this week. Have you do extra shit in the workplace? You feel me? Take advantage of you in the workplace. Other coworkers thinking they could pass their responsibilities to you because they see how durable you are, how much you get shit done in the workplace. So Mars and Pluto in the sixth house, that's where the hidden enemies be at. That's where they be at. All right. So IG kicking me off. We're gonna come back and wrap them up.